What is going on, everybody? So today we're going to talk about the ultra premium collections from the Sun and Moon era all the way up to the Scarlet and Violet era. And I know some of you guys do have exposure to some of these. Not all of you, but some of you do for sure, because I see it in the comments all the time. And I honestly just don't think that these are a great investment. And I'm going to give a little bit of my reasoning later in the video, but we'll start off by just going over each one. We'll start with Hidden Fates. This UPC on TCG Player, it says it's about $1,300. There hasn't been a sale though in a very long time. You can see here back in March, a couple sold and it looks like they were loose or damaged and they're around $700. So I went to eBay and I checked, and recent sales, if we scroll back up to the top here, $1,250 or best offer, $869 on auction, another $1,250 or best offer, $810 on auction, $1,000 one, $925. So I imagine that this is selling fairly consistently around $950 to $1,000. Now, don't get me wrong, for Hidden Fates, I think this was probably a better investment than the Elite Trainer boxes. I don't actually know the MSRP on this. Maybe it was like $60, $70. They're both probably close to like 8, 9x at this point. I don't know where Hidden Fates ETBs are going to end up this week. We'll see tomorrow. But this one was probably a bit better. We got a lot of Hidden Fates ETBs. But for a lot of these other items on this list, for example, the Celebrations UPC, although maybe they were super strong out the gate, they just really haven't done too much over the past 3 to 4 or 5 years. And some of the newer ones, the returns on them that you're seeing over the past like 6 months just haven't been great, considering so many other items you could have put your money into and doubled or tripled your money. So Celebrations UPC, $480. It finally started moving over the past 6 months. But again, this was sitting around $300 to $350 for a very long time. Even Alex from Nostalgianomics says that this probably wasn't a great place to put your money over the past few years. It's kind of been dead money, but I kind of understand why people held on to these. They are a very unique item. I think most people are probably more bullish on anniversary sets than I am. I just really didn't care too much for Celebrations. I also just don't think the 30th anniversary is going to be a huge event that people think it's going to be. Again, we could get a crazy set, like maybe a 151 sort of thing for Gen 2. Pokemon could choose to stack another set like Evolving Skies or something, then maybe it is a very hot year, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Either way, we'll move on. Sword and Shield UPC is the Charizard one. This was like $80 at one point, and you had people saying to buy these, and at $80, they were a solid buy, right? Like they were very cheap. You could find them everywhere. They had Evolving Skies, and I think there's Chilling Reign in there as well. Maybe other couple decent sets. You have solid promo cards. And even though you could have put your money in different places and got a larger return, you still have a very solid ROI on these from $80 to $100 range if that was your entry point. The Arceus V-Star, probably not as great of an ROI. These are sitting around $200 currently, up 44% over the past 12 months. Not a great pack selection in these. The promo cards, although they're decent, I don't think they're as strong as the ones from the Charizard UPC. And a lot of the SV era ones just get worse. So the Trapagos, not a super strong pack selection. You have some Paradox Rift, some Stellar Crown, Temporal. I think there's a little bit of Paldea in these as well. But not super strong promo cards, not the best packs. You don't have Evolving Skies or anything crazy from Sword and Shield era. So I can kind of see why these haven't done the best compared to some of the older UPCs. Past 6 months, up 43%, and they haven't even been out a year, so that's why I was showing these 6-month charts. Same thing with the Greninja EX1. Same deal with the packs. I think a lot of like Paradox Rift, Temporal Forces, Stellar Crown, those sort of sets. And the promo cards aren't anything crazy, up 50% though over the past 6 months, and same deal, hasn't even been out a year. Now, if there's one UPC that's actually done fairly well, all things considered, it is the 151 UPC, up 227% over the past 12 months. I brought up the regular ETB as a comparison, which is up 255%. So it's still underperforming over the past 12 months compared to the regular ETB, and I believe the PC ETB as well. But if you were buying these at $80, $90, you've done quite well for yourself. They are bigger, bulkier, you need more space to store a lot of them. But I've kind of changed my mind on these over the past 6 to 8 months, and I do think with these specialty sets, it's not a bad idea to get exposure to a lot of those higher end items. So for 151, the PC ETB, your regular ETB, your UPCs, maybe a booster bundle display. Like if you have those 4 items, I think that's solid just in case one or two of them don't get massive reprints and they just go to the moon. Kind of what we saw with the Hidden Fates UPC. Like these, now that I think about it a little bit more, and I haven't done the math, so maybe this is wrong, but these seem like they've probably performed a little bit better than the ETBs. And in the future, if we get reprints of 151, it's probably going to be more Blooming Waters, probably going to be more booster bundles, and things like the UPCs, your regular ETBs, are going to be less likely to be included in that, and thus your investments are probably going to be a little bit more protected. And I think you can apply this logic to Prismatic Evolutions and their super premium collection. I know it's a super and not an ultra, and if you guys know the difference, let me know in the comments below, because I really don't know how Pokemon classifies one as an SPC or a UPC, but I think they're very similar. I mean, about the same amount of packs. You have a promo card inside both of them. Maybe it's because it's one promo versus three promos, whatever. Either way, I think it's okay to get a little bit of exposure to these Prismatic Evolutions SPCs, get some exposure to the ETBs, the PCTBs, and then maybe a booster bundle display. But because these were so expensive out the gate, I could also see a situation where these Prismatic SPCs turn out to be kind of like the Celebrations UPC, where we don't see a lot of movement on them for 2 to 3 years. And that's why right now with Prismatic, I'm a big fan of buying the regular ETBs. And also if you did get some PCTBs after those got restocked, I think that was a solid time to do it, when you can get a decent entry point. And I say decent, all things considered and relative, right? I would much rather buy a regular ETB at close to $100 than buy a SPC at $200, if that makes sense. And I know the title and thumbnail might be a little bit hyperbolic, but I would be considering moving a lot of these older UPCs at this point. Maybe if you have a Hidden Fates one, I would probably hold on to this, honestly. This is something that I wouldn't move. I still think there's probably going to be better places to put your money, but it is a very unique item where if you have quite a large position in Pokemon, I don't think it's bad if 1 to 2% of your entire portfolio is in an item like this, just in case 5-10 years down the road, it really does pop off and become super rare and we see it outperform the overall market. But if you had like 5 to 10% of your portfolio in this, probably not a good idea. Same thing with these Celebrations UPCs, Sword and Shield UPCs. I would be dumping a lot of these right now because I think there's going to be better plays over the next 3 to 5 years. And again, I want to be very specific with my language. When I say dumping, I don't mean dropping these at like 70% of market, right? Like you could slowly move them and transition that money into newer products, into potentially better products. But if you guys disagree with me, definitely feel free to let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video and you got something out of it, I'd really appreciate if you leave a like, share it with a friend. We are going to be tracking the UPCs in the spreadsheet going forward, and we'll probably touch on them maybe once a month on the channel just to get a better idea of what they are doing, because I really don't see people talking about these too much, and I think they are worth having at least a small discussion about once in a while. But with all that said, thank you guys so much for watching the video. Stay safe wherever you are in the world, and I'll catch you in the next one.